Hello YouTube. So this video is part 2 of the overview of 2014, and this is the good part, which I'm going to enjoy talking about. So to start off, I mentioned this in my last video, but one of the great parts is that when you come to Japan, you're going to meet a lot of new people, a lot of really awesome people. So that's a real positive side. The people that you meet here, they're easy to get along with. You already have something in common because you're in the JET program, and it's important to make friends with them because the people that you're placed around are going to be a huge part of your social circle, depending on your level of Japanese, of course, for the next year or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. So it's important to make friends with them. They also will play a huge part in helping you out when you first arrive and showing you around where you live and helping you buy things if you don't have a car and getting rides to places and carpooling to ALT events and things like that. For the most part, the people that you meet are going to be great. Of course, in any relationship, there are going to be disagreements or differences of opinion. But again, that's with any relationship. So you just take that with a grain of salt and roll with the punches. Awesome people, really great people. That's a huge part. I've made a lot of friends this last year, and I'm really happy to know them. Some really good friends, some people that have such unique perspectives. People from all different places of the country, all different places in the country, and all different places in all of the countries, all over the world. Really cool people. Another part is that you're Japanese. You're in Japan, so you're gonna pick up some Japanese. Yes. But there comes a point where you reach something, if you don't speak any Japanese, you're picking it up as you go, but there comes kind of a plateau where you're gonna have to put some effort in if you're trying to get a lot out of it. Yeah, you can get by in the entire JET program. You do not have to study Japanese at all. The whole time you're here, you can learn zero Japanese. I've heard some teachers even encourage it because they don't want you speaking Japanese with the students. They want you speaking English. I'm of the opinion that that's not good. You should learn Japanese. You're in Japan. And what better opportunity are you going to have to learn and practice Japanese than when you live in Japan? So the JET program does offer some free Japanese classes, but just so we're absolutely clear, it's not like in a classroom with a teacher and with homework. It's self-study. So there's like deadlines and you do it online. I am not part of that. I've met ALTs that are doing that right now, and from what I've heard, it's okay at best, not great. So there comes a point where you're going to have to make a decision to really invest some time and effort in really studying Japanese, and it might cost some money. But that's a decision you can make. And again, it's possible to just not study any Japanese at all, or maybe you already speak Japanese. Another good point is health insurance in Japan and on the JET program is phenomenal. It's good. It's really good. I'm coming from the US, and if you're from the US, you already know where this conversation is going because health insurance in the US is a joke. It is a joke. It's crazy. I mentioned in my last video that I rode an ambulance here in Japan, and it was free. I also rode an ambulance in the United States, and it was not free. Definitely not free. Speaking of money, your salary as an ALT is good. I know ALTs that live here who have taken a pay cut from whatever it is they were doing in their home countries to come work as an ALT, but for me personally, I've never earned this much money. I don't feel that I live a lavish lifestyle. I live very comfortably. I definitely live comfortably. And I'm not making that much of an effort to be able to save a considerable amount every month. I'm not going to go into numbers because that information is available on the JET program website. But suffice it to say that you're not going to have to pinch pennies about going to dinner most of the time. Some people will. Maybe you're sending money back home for student loans. I am not. I'm very lucky. And so I can save, which is awesome. And personally, I feel that the salary is really good. You're going to be making a lot more than your Japanese counterparts your age working in Japan. who, by the way, are going to be working considerably longer hours than you, probably at harder jobs. So you're lucky. This is a good job. Another positive point that I've already talked about is I got a car. I recommend that if you can and you plan to stay for more than a year, you do. And if you can, you buy, despite the hefty investment up front. It's going to save you money in the long run. That's a really good thing that I'm glad that I did. Another great thing is that you're going to get good at teaching. The relationships that you build at work are really useful. You're gonna have a direct supervisor, and you want to make friends with them because there are things in Japan that you're gonna need somebody who speaks Japanese fluently to help you with. So it helps if you're friendly to the people that are gonna be helping you in your life. In my case, that's not hard because all of the people that I work with are awesome as hell. And the relationships that you make as students also are going to be really rewarding. It's really nice to see some students that you know progress. You could see their progress over the year. And that's really cool. And also just being in the classroom when you have one of those really good days as a teacher and you can see that the students are engaged and you're enjoying yourself and you can see that they're enjoying themselves and they're really trying to speak English. It's so fulfilling. And when those classes happen, it makes your coworkers like you more. It makes them want you to teach more. It makes them want to give you more responsibility. And that's also really rewarding. And don't get me wrong, there are going to be days. I mean, if you're worried that you're going to have days where you're just stuck, not being able to do anything in the classroom or out of ideas, don't worry about that. That will happen. That will happen. The point is you have to be able to roll with that. But the days that are good are so good. They're just so good. So it's really rewarding. Another thing related to work is, I don't know what your drinking alcohol is like before you come to Japan, but when you come to Japan, it's gonna improve because drinking with your coworkers after work at Enkai is a part of the culture. And there's nuanced things about that. That might even be just a video on its own, but your drinking game is gonna improve because that's a big part of work culture in Japan, is drinking with your coworkers after work. I think that's a good overview of my year last year. The one other thing, definitely a high point of my year, is that I met a Japanese lady and I fell in love with her. And we are doing really well. And on my personal opinion is that dating someone from a foreign culture is really fulfilling, and I learn a lot, and it's exciting, and I really enjoy it. You have options when you come to Japan. One option is, of course, dating a Japanese person. The other option is dating one of your fellow ALTs. If you choose to date an ALT, know that the community is a small community, so if you damage maybe that relationship in any way, it could be complicated or awkward because there are mandatory ALT events and you're going to end up seeing everyone again. So you got to be careful about that. But on the other hand, dating a Japanese person is not just straightforward. You have to find somebody that you find attractive, that is a similar age to you, who lives near you and who speaks a decent amount of English so that you can communicate. So there are ups and downs, and I think that's another video that I'll make at another point. Suffice it to say, I'm very satisfied with my relationship, and if you can, I recommend dating a Japanese lady. Or man. Anyway, next time I'll start getting into advice for teaching at your schools. So that's something to look forward to. All right. See you later.